The Independent reports, beware how and why Trump attacked a Venezuelan drug cartel boat. The attack comes a day after the Venezuelan president accused the Trump admin of plotting a military invasion of his country. And the Trump admin published this video of, indeed, a boat exploding. So Trump claimed 11 drug traffickers were killed in the strike. Look, I see a lot of liberals, and they're angry, saying Trump murdered people. They're saying he murdered civilians. And I'm like, wait, what? Okay, listen. I've been critical of the Middle East intervention, the war in Ukraine, U.S. support for Israel, all of this funding we're spending overseas. The one time you can probably expect the government not to be lying about the strike is when they publish the video and tell you we did it. Typically, when we see we've got the famous collateral murder video that was leaked, where U.S. blew up a couple journalists, a Reuters reporter in, I think it was in Iraq or Afghanistan. This is 10, 15 years ago. That was leaked, and that made the U.S. look bad, and they were upset about it. This is Trump saying, here's what we've confirmed, and we did. So certainly don't take their word for it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, the U.S. government blowing people up, fine, it must be trustworthy. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt in this regard that they're striking narco-terrorists and traffickers and cartel members who rape, murder, and steal. And I'm not going to sit here and cry and call Trump a murderer on this one. This is what I can't stand. You get these military actions in Eastern Europe or the Middle East, and then these pro-military industrial complex neolibs are just like, no, that's fine. No, we all right. They don't go after Biden for what happened in Afghanistan.
If he was getting guys that were bringing fentanyl to the West, I don't even care where in the West, anywhere in North America, then thank God he did that. But I think we have to differentiate exactly what was on this boat. Because if it was Coke with no fentanyl, well, yeah, I'm glad you got those guys. We totally don't want cocaine in America. No way, Jose. Glad you got them. Anyway.
It is going to go, though. Cocaine as well. Like all of that stuff that's trafficking. He's like, I regret my struggle.
Great. I love that cocaine is going down with the fentanyl shit because it's all bad. All drugs are bad. And even pure cocaine where you can do a line and like have a meal and do a line and go to bed, that stuff's just as bad as fentanyl. So get it out of here. No way, Jose.
He will, though.
You could give me a bump right now and I'd be like, no, thanks. I'd probably grab it and run to the bathroom to throw it in the toilet.
As you should.
Yeah.
But
drugs are bad.
You obviously don't have,
Have a toilet?
You do have a toilet.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah. Sam Cedar broke it, though.
Yeah, he literally did.
He did.
No, but let's be honest.
I don't know why he told us that, but he did.
The war on cocaine is retarded. It's a great drug. It's like weed. It's 100 coffees without the diarrhea.
Oh, I disagree. I think it's all bad.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
And hello, I am Gavin McInnes.
Together, we're Compound Censored.
And we'd like you to subscribe to our network that has more fantastic content you could shake a stick at. Use this promo code for a one-time super offer.
Do it. It's uncensored and oh so entertaining.
Yeah.
I think
cocaine and fentanyl are just as bad.
Oh, I'm not going to sit here and say all drugs are the exact same thing, but drugs in general are not good for
caffeine.
The United States. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. But it's a scale.
Did we just sell caffeine? Like
we did.
2 minutes ago?
Coffee. But it's a scale, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell people to buy pure caffeine and go do a bump.
Okay. Weed, cocaine, caffeine, fentanyl.
Agree. That's why we have the schedule.
Heroin, opioids. Like they are Russian roulette. They're way up here. Cocaine is, you get a little chatty.
I think a big part of the issue of cocaine, too, is that it's usually cut with stuff and could kill you nowadays.
But not just that. I could tell you stories of people whose lives have been completely destroyed by cocaine.
But what if coffee was cut with fentanyl? Do we blow up coffee trucks?
But we're not telling people to isolate caffeine and snort it.
Okay, that doesn't matter how you ingest the drug.
Well, 90 milligrams in a cup of coffee. And you know what? Yes, the caffeine addiction this country and the West has is really bad.
You know what? This is kind of like Epstein. I don't give a crap if guys are effing post-pubescent girls. Jimmy Page was with the 14-year-old. It's not my cup of tea. But Sexy and 17, Stray Cats, she was just 17, if you know what I mean. Like, if Epstein Island is pubescent and post-pubescent, and same with P. Diddy, I don't care. I want to focus on actual molestation of prepubescent children. That's where I want to like start lynching people.
But is it
Similarly with drugs, cocaine, weed, no. I want to focus on fentanyl and opioids.
But
Like, let's split
isn't it a scale? It's like triage. Like it's all bad,
I
but
see
we
it more
start
as
from.
Moses splitting the sea. Like 17-year-olds having sex with rock stars, I'm falling asleep right now. 12-year-olds having sex with rock stars, I'm wide awake.
But
Grabbing my guns.
I think pot is bad.
Yeah.
I think
So
alcohol is bad.
farting in a movie theater.
But it's a scale. It's a scale.
Correct.
Like I don't think alcohol and marijuana should be completely banned and shut down and isolated or whatever. Total prohibition. I think it's bad.
Yeah.
But there's a scale. Like obviously fentanyl, yes.
Cocaine should be legal. It's a perfectly good. It's really just coffee and booze combined. Fentanyl is a death sentence that's murdering our children. So if there was fentanyl on that boat, you get a thumbs up.
No, I'm going to draw a line in the
Cocaine
sand
on
here.
that boat,
I don't think cocaine's kosher.
F you.
Yeah, I think cocaine's bad.
Cocaine goes past the line, and I'm also ambivalent about the pot stuff. Where do you draw the line? What do
When did
you
you last
think?
do cocaine?
I would never do cocaine.
Okay, so you're talking about like gay porn.
Do I need to do fentanyl to know that I'm against it? Like, do I need to have gay sex to know that I don't want to have gay sex? What's your argument here?
My argument is you're talking about something you're not even remotely familiar with.
I think I understand the effects enough to
Okay,
know
what
that
are the
it's
effects of cocaine? What
a
if you did a
stimulant.
line right now? What would happen
It's
to
a
you?
stimulant.
Yeah. You just
Probably
did a
going to make you need to go to the
dude.
bathroom.
You just did a
and
Red
it's
Bull.
going to-
You just did a line.
I just did a Red Bull.
You just did a Red Bull
It's
line.
going to suppress my appetite.
Yes, correct. All the same symptoms.
It might harm my
I don't
my
want to come
ability
across as
to
Mr.
get
Cocaine, defending cocaine. I'm just saying
No, that's
you
how
shouldn't
it
be
started.
blowed up real good on a boat.
But
if
what are
you
the
were just-
effects of legalizing cocaine for people who are 18 and older or 21 and
Well,
older?
that's an interesting point because legalization, on the book is a sort of a semi-libertarian. I'm like, yes, that looks great on paper. I love it. And then I saw like Colorado with legalization of pot. I'm driving down the 95 in New York and I smell it coming into my car. So you got me if you're talking about legalization.
Yes.
But as far as
That's
like
the
a
point.
nebulous discussion of what's really bad for you, cocaine is like
It's bad for society. I'll put it like this. There is a weight placed on you depending on the scale of the drug you're taking. Fentanyl is a weight that puts you 6 feet under. Cocaine is a weight that drags you down 20% or something.
okay, here's some bad news. If there was no cocaine, you would have no Tower Records, you'd have no Playboy magazine, you'd have no National Lampoon, you would have no Vice magazine, you would have no
You're saying-
Studio 54, you'd have no disco, you'd have no Def Leppard, you'd have no hair metal.
Let me tell you right now, there's a bunch of disaffected Gen Z men who have found like religion and tradition.
Which is great.
Who are saying, wow, we never should have allowed those things in the first place.
Yeah, okay.
And you know what they're saying? I drive down the street and I smell it coming through my window. I see the dudes strung out and pawning their goods to get more and thinking, why did we ever allow any of it?
But my point is with this Moses splitting the sea thing, I want to isolate the real villains because when we isolate real villains like fentanyl and prepubescent sexual molestation, we're talking a language everyone can understand. When we're like, oh my God, there was cocaine at that party, you guys, we lose the youth with the right-wing movement. So let's not become school marms and start like celebrating the death of a cocaine boat that could have been brought in.
Gen Z is going conservative.
Yeah, okay.
Because
good.
they're sick of
But
all
the
the
reason
things
they're
you just
going
described.
conservative is because we were being pretty liberal minded. The reason that we got the youth is because we weren't being little nitpickers about all the rules and not bitching about irrelevant stuff. We're not being Ben Shapiro's. The reason it's cool to be conservative is not because of Ben Shapiro, it's because of Tim and Gav.
I maybe half disagree.
Well, you're in it.
I don't think that. I think Ben Shapiro is a huge. So when we meet young people, Gen Z people in their mid 20s or whatever, they say, "Oh, in the late 2010s, I was getting all the Ben Shapiro debate videos," and they were watching Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk are gateway drugs, but they come to us because we go, yeah, I've fucked I've effed a ton of broads. I've done mountains of blow, and I don't like liberals. And I think the problem with like the Pat Buchanan generation of paleo-conservative nerds is they ostracize the youth by, being these tie-wearing, uptight guys who don't know the difference between fentanyl and cocaine and weed and opioids.
And I think, there's a really interesting conversation in like pot being Schedule 1. Trump says he wants to remove that. I think a lot of people don't realize this, that caffeine and cocaine have near the exact same physiological response. I'm sure
meth and Adderall, look at the chemical composition.
Adderall is meth.
It's one little satellite, little octagon.
Isn't it just about how fast it metabolizes in the body? Adderall is slower than meth.
We have an entire generation on Adderall.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I'll do speed once a year if I got to do a marathon. That's a very intense drug.
You know what I see?
That's like renting an RV.
I see. When I was younger, I was much more liberal. Now I'm fairly moderate on the. I'm a little libertarian. I don't know that prohibition, the way we tried it with beer, works. But I think we as society need to culturally shun and say no to all these drugs.
Gavin, is it worth?
No, we need to recognize the dangers of them. Like I'm for the legalization of weed, of course, but I want young people to know it kills your economic libido. It makes you sleep in till noon. You will not choose your career. Like Tim Pool never would have been Tim Pool if he was smoking weed all day. He'd think about what this place would look like in his head, but you never would have actualized it if you were high on weed. So recognize it's the dangers of it. But I don't want the government telling you not to.
Right, no, exactly. It's got to be a cultural phenomenon.
Right.
And I think we're seeing a lot of young people that are leaning towards a similar position, but there's kind of a youth zeitgeist, I guess, which is drugs are bad and we don't want to go near them. You know what I mean?
That's gay.
But you agree with it.
Do cocaine.
Do
Kevin,
do not.
Marijuana.
Not do illegal
Do heroin once.
No, you can't.
That's advice you'd give to your children?
Yes.
Kevin,
my kids are on heroin right now.
There is
They're watching, slapping their veins right now.
There was a viral thread on Reddit where a guy was saying what you were saying, and he was like, trying it one time wouldn't be bad, and then it's this big long thread where he dies.
Well, yes, fentanyl has ruined heroin. Not that heroin was good before, but it's sort of like a threesome. Like, again, let me make something very clear here. Fentanyl has ruined all drugs. So everything I say about cocaine and heroin is pre-fentanyl. But post-fentanyl, yes, blow up the boats. But as far as like pie in the sky hypotheticals go, I think that, you should try a threesome. You're not going to enjoy it, by the way.
Conservative is just like, this guy's terrible.
A threesome
These dudes can't get laid anymore, and you want them to try a threesome.
A threesome?
Guys can't get.
Threesome is
shooting
running
through the
around with
stars,
a clipboard, making sure everyone's okay. You're like, how are you guys doing over here? Do you have grapes?
What formation type threesome are you talking?
A guy and two chicks. But I've done it 2 guys and a girl.
I want
People go, is that gay? And I'm like, no, it's like digging a hole for a body, and your shovels clink. You're just like, you got bigger fish to fry. You're taking care of Drea de Matteo because she snitched.
So, because I think that you may have already answered my question. If that vote had, say, there was some fentanyl, some cocaine, some marijuana, right? Would you think that the vote should be blown up because it was bringing in fentanyl and, oh, well, we lost some cocaine and marijuana? Yes. Okay. Because I just want to be clear on how bad you think it is.
I have a zero tolerance policy as the king of the world for zero fentanyl.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in England. I came to Ottawa, Canada when I was around 5. And then I grew up in Ontario, outside of Ottawa. I moved to Montreal when I was 18, which I consider a different country. Quebec is a different country. It's French-speaking.
You guys have debonair.
We have debonaires. They don't like the English there. You're a second-class citizen for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And then I moved to New York in the late 90s, and I've been here ever since.
I was curious. I do think that the view you have, obviously, this is just a generalism, but it's based on where you grew up and how you grew up. And
sure, yeah. Well, Canada. Sorry.
Just the reason I ask is because when I think about where I grew up, my reaction is, "Holy crap, cocaine's bad." The things that I saw done for cocaine and to sell cocaine in Chicago, it's like, why would we tolerate that ever? And why would we encourage in any way?
Tim, have you ever done this much?
Like a phone's worth?
Yeah.
I've seen people kill each other, or no, figuratively. I've not seen anyone like
Go do a phone's worth of cocaine and call me back on the third day.
Phones.
Dude, I'm sick of crackheads already, and I feel like this is conducive to producing more crackheads.
Yeah.
Am I tripping?
Yeah,
like,
well,
there's too many
let me
crackheads in the
separate,
country.
Like, there's the law, and there's what we want for society, and then there's just like dudes talking.
Do you think cocaine's addictive?
Yeah, but like people don't really die from it. You chat yourself.
So what I see where I grew up is people going to prison and their lives destroyed, and whatever potential they had as American citizens to build a business was wiped out by cocaine.
Well, they went to prison because cocaine's illegal. I can't believe I'm Mr. Cocaine defendant here, but
yeah, I think it's bad.
They're like Hollywood.
But we're not even. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about a guy. I'm not talking about a guy with a little baggie. I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about people who are like, I'm going to go get it. They grab a gun and then they go and there's gang slinging.
Yeah, and they did that because it's illegal.
So you're saying like Portugal method,
Dude,
like dispensaries
in Colombia. You'll bump into your mom and you'll be like, "Mom, I'm so tired. Have you got a bump?" And your mom,
Colombia
like
sucks.
I
don't want to be I don't want to be in Colombia.
It sucks.
Like they have a bunch of
different
narco
factors.
gangs, and
It's genetically behind.
don't they rob Americans who go there as tourists?
Yes.
Okay.
That happens all over the world.
Let's keep talking about Central. Let's jump to this next story. We've got this from the AP. Maduro says Venezuela is ready to respond to U.S. military presence in the Caribbean, and a top Biden-era official is warning the U.S. could stumble into disastrous intervention in Venezuela. The argument being that Maduro is not going to tolerate the U.S. military operations in the Caribbean, and then the U.S. is going to stumble. I don't think it's a stumbling. I think the U.S. intentionally will be like, time to go in, boys. But the concern now is, as Donald Trump keeps saying, we don't want to be involved in these wars far away in the Middle East, he does keep talking about the cartels in Mexico as well as Tren de Aragua. So if there is the potential for escalation, it's closer to home. It's Venezuela. You guys think that Trump is going to get us is going to intervene and get us involved in Venezuela?
I don't particularly think that there's a large chance, a significant chance that we're going to go into Venezuela, actually boots on the ground. I think strikes like this will continue. Look, at the end of the day, the cartels are out to make money. And if all of their shipments, or not all of their shipments, but if a significant portion of their shipments keep getting blown up, I imagine they're going to say, all right, it's not worth it to try and ship it into the U.S.
Can we reinstitute colonization? Can we become colonialists again?
I love.
I feel like we still are.
Greenland has
don't get enough
tons of
credit.
resources, and the amount of oil that those losers have, like it
They can't
dwarfs
access anymore.
Saudi Arabia. Let's get in there. Let's invade Venezuela. I'm not joking.
Regime change in Venezuela.
We got a lot of oil.
How do you have so much oil, more than Canada, more than Mexico, more than Saudi Arabia, and you're loser central?
Because they kicked out all the companies that were actually
because they're communists.
proficient.
Then bye.
Well, that's the thing.
Move.
So invade.
What did we do in Iran? We pushed out the Shah. We got a bunch of losers in there. They accidentally had a revolution, and we went, oops, I guess we shouldn't have meddled in there. Like, we're always meddling and not getting the money. You know what Ann Coulter said to me once? She goes, I hate that these sheiks all over the Middle East, they have so much money, and they don't know how to get the oil out of the ground. We did that. And then they get the money. We should have gone there and just said, I'm paraphrasing Ann right now. We should have just gone like, hi, you have this dirty black guck in your water supply. And we'll be removing that now for $100 a month. And then, like, what do they do with their money? They drive on cars with two wheels on the side. And they have a harem that they skull F.
There was someone told me a funny story about how there was a small village in Saudi Arabia, and when they found oil just like under part of the village, within 5 years, everybody in the village was wearing thick gold chains and rings, but everything else stayed the same. Like they still lived in little adobe hut kind of things.
I was talking to Chris about that island in Polynesia where the coral generates this intense carbon that you sprinkle on your crops and everyone gets rich, and so everyone was a millionaire overnight. And they can't grow their own crops because their coral carbon crap is too intense. So they would just import like Popeyes, and so they all became this like turgid billionaires in Lamborghinis that they didn't know how to drive. Like you can't help certain cultures that are just not as advanced as ours. You need to go through cold Siberian winters to know how to spend your money. Sorry.
So, as far as this story goes, there's a few things. There's a few different things going on. So, first of all, these cartels are terrorist organizations, have been designated as such, and so all of these boats are legitimate military targets, as far as I'm concerned. We've been having a military buildup outside of Venezuela, and there are a lot of reasons why regime change would make sense there. And there's a few different ways to geopolitically look at this. First of all, it would deal with the cartels. It would also help mitigate the immigration crisis that we're seeing from Venezuela and other South American countries. Also, us getting the oil would be a huge deal. We have the correct oil refineries for Venezuelan oil, which is like thick and sour, so-called thick and sour oil. So this could help mitigate Russia's benefits off of cheap oil right now that they're sending around the globe. So like we could help spike those prices down, drop those prices if we were able to get that Venezuelan oil out.
So we
the
should
U.S.
have made Venezuela.
We should encourage the Venezuelan people to rise up against their fascistic communist captors.
Okay, I got an idea. Now, if we want to avoid full-scale war with Venezuela, right?
Ooh, I'm scared.
Well, it's
Full-scale war.
But you don't go to 10 right away. You don't crank it all the way up real quick, right? We want to if we can avoid war and take them over, it's better than going to war, right? We save money.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I got an idea. What if the U.S. just hear me out? Allocated through Congress funds to a U.S. organization that operated under the guise of international aid, but was actually fomenting revolution in foreign countries. And then we call it something like, American aid or U.S.
U.S. aid.
U.S. aid. That works. Yeah, Trump should start that. Could you imagine if we had something like that?
That's my attitude with every time the left plays dirty pool. I'm like, where's our dirty pool? Like
Have one.
Putin has this thing, Little Green Men, where he sends in guys in green uniforms to foment revolution, and I'm like, okay,
And the Wagner Group.
Well, I mean, that's basically
I'm doing that. I want that in Venezuela.
Quick trip to Venezuela with the
Berets
boys.
that in Greenland.
That's
Like,
what
let's do that.
USAID was.
Yeah, well,
Everyone's playing dirty pool, but us.
but that,
Well,
well,
the problem is USAID was woke, and it was
Right. Let's do an unwoke
Listen, it was
USAID.
not pushing American interests. It was convincing third world. It was forcing third world countries to adopt policies towards accepting LGBTQ activism and transgenderism. And the people like in Afghanistan were like, "Why is this on my wall?" And then we're sitting in America being like, "Literally, what is the American interest in promoting LGBTQ activism in Afghanistan?" Now, if you said we want the oil from Venezuela. Sure, I can understand that. We can have a debate about whether we should or shouldn't, but at least that would make sense mathematically.
Yeah. It's like you're confiscating their pit bull, and they're like, oh, you're going to put my pit bull down? No, it's my pit bull now.
So this story has really gone underreported, and I think it's worthwhile to listen to a couple of the quotes coming out of the administration to show how serious they are about this. So a couple of quotes from Caroline Leavitt. One is, President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. Maduro, in the view of this administration, is not the legitimate president. He's a fugitive head of a cartel who has been indicted in the U.S. for trafficking drugs into the country. Those are fighting words, in my
What an
estimation.
inbred loser. You have more oil than basically anyone ever. I think he's in the top 3, 4, 5 maybe oil producers in the universe, and he's focusing on coke.
Do you remember when the people of Venezuela were starving, and so Maduro went on TV to give an address to the nation, and he didn't realize the cameras were on him the whole time, so he opened a drawer, pulled out an empanada, took a big bite, and then put it back, and everyone was like, "What is?" He legit did that.
Yeah.
He's a fat guy in a starving nation with a drawer with an empanada. It's like, buddy, could you not wait 10 minutes before you ate your empanada? That's Venezuela.
Let them eat empanadas.
Look, like what you were talking about, like having like little green men. That's literally the job of the Green Berets. They get dropped into hostile territory and they align with the local people that will fight. They try and form a militia, teach them how to fight. So we actually do have the capacity to do it still. Now, whether or not the United States will do it, I mean, I don't know.
There just needs to be a group of guys standing
No.
back and standing by, just ready in case any violence comes onto the street, and we need people protected.
Yes.
You know, patriots from Antifa and different
unashamed
socialists
guys.
on the street.
They should be called the unashamed.
Can I
guys.
just this is true. This is 2017. He was giving an address to the nation, and he decided to eat an empanada while live. I guess he thought that the camera had like switched over to something. Bro, it's just like if you waited 5 minutes, you could have eaten your empanada. That's Venezuela.
The world is brutally corrupt. The drugs are everywhere. The guns aren't going away. Like, this is my problem with the right. They see Biden pull out these hockey bags of votes, right? And they're like, oh my God, we got to stop the hockey bags. I'm like, look, it's Mad Max. It's post-apocalyptic. Where's our hockey bags? Like, everyone's cheating. We're cheating.
You know what? We've been talking about this quite a bit. I'm curious your thoughts. For the past several years, we've talked quite a bit about the political space. I'm pretty much, I don't even really care anymore because the population crisis is substantially more, let's call it heavier. It matters substantially more than whether or not there's an election. I'm curious your thoughts on where we end up in the next 5 years, considering, I'll put it this way, Gen Alpha is half the size of Gen Z.
Yeah.
So it's a mathematical impossibility to recover unless Gen Alpha has 6 kids each.
Well, there's two things going on at once, and they're both antithetical. There's this insane influx of immigrants, and even before Biden, there was I would say 30 million illegals in America. He let in 12 million. That's Ellis Island's entirety over 80 years. So even if Trump deports 10,000 a day for the remaining of his term, we're still back to 30 million. So you have that problem, and then you have the problem of course, locals not breeding. And they're not a good combo. I don't know. There's something about God put this little microchip in every group. I used to say it was whites, but it's every group. When they get successful, they stop breeding. I don't know why that is. Like Mexicans, as they make more money, they have less kids. The Japanese have this same crisis.
It's called behavioral sync, and we believe all mammals do it.
I don't like that. Have more kids when you have more money. Have less kids when you have less money. It's like a design flaw in nature for some reason.
You know about the rat utopia experiment, right?
Yeah.
When the rats had infinite food and water, what did they do? They started doing They do exactly what humans are doing now. Humans are exhibiting behavioral sync. But my concern is, in the short term, we talk about big mail-in bags and votes, and Trump is talking about we got to get rid of mail-in voting, and then there's conversations about war, and I'm like, in 5 years, all your grocery stores are going to start going out of business. You're not going to be able to get certain fruits or vegetables out of season anymore. Your beef, that's going to be
just close the borders and figure it out. I mean, there's so many different factors. Like, a few people are talking about this. The West is contingent on a lot of things. Western culture was built on cold winters, for one. I got to pickle stuff, or I'm going to starve. I also think I have to be ultra benevolent. I got to help the retard, or can I say that? Or we're all.
That's the second time already. So
I imagine you've spent time in like Mediterranean cultures.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
The heat?
No, the laziness.
Yeah, it's brutal.
So
look at the food. What is
siesta?
What's your favorite Costa Rican food?
No.
There's no such thing. Puerto Rican food, it's a hot banana with a little leaf on it, and then they tie it with a string. What the hell am I eating? A boiled string banana?
Hold on. I got to stop you there, buddy. Okay, I can't speak for Puerto Rico. They have something similar, but I think it's Dominican. Mango, you ever have that?
No.
Okay, for breakfast, you get boiled mashed plantains with pickled onions, fried salami, and fried cheese, and it's like the best breakfast.
Okay,
ever.
fried salami and cheeses, that's me.
And that's what they eat.
So it's like the Indians. I love their little beaded shoes, but those beads are mine. Like half the time any culture has anything good, it's like my shit.
Okay, let me say though. Spain, right? I went to southern Spain, and they have the best ham I've ever had. Fantastic.
Okay. Well, Spain is the West.
Sure, except they're also siesta. They're a siesta culture.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's terrible. So it's
a 2-hour nap in the middle of the day.
And I have to work. So I'm on a schedule and I have obligations. And so I'm in southern Spain and it's like 1 o'clock and I'm like, I better go grab lunch right now while I still have time. Everything's closed. And I'm like, when does it open? Like 4. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? I got to eat.
You know what? You can afford to live like that when you live in a culture that has outlawed cousin marriage.
Now, have you been to Athens?
We are importing. Hold on. We are importing cultures that don't outlaw cousin marriage.
We don't outlaw cousin
They are
marriage.
inbred. Yeah, we do.
Let me pull up the exact number.
You know you're in West Virginia, right?
No, I think
Well, there's people that cheat, but generally the Western world over the past
20 U.S.
500
states,
years has been
20 U.S. states allow cousin marriage, and New York allows you to gay marry your cousin.
Oh boy.
Oh, is that to say you can't gay marry your cousin in the other states?
There's like I think 2 or 3 states that allow gay marriage and cousin marriage. Okay, so
You can't really be inbred if you're gay.
like-
Your poo is going to be inbred.
So here's how it works. There's a certain number of states that allow gay marriage, a certain number of states that allow cousin marriage, and a couple that have unregulated gay cousin marriage. Now, obviously, with Obergefell and the Supreme Court rulings, all states are required to recognize gay marriage now. So there's a lot more states, 20, that allow you to gay marry your cousin.
It's not our culture. It happens. It may be legal somewhere, but
It's not
as far as our
normal.
DNA
It's
goes,
frowned upon.
We're not made of cousin marriage. Most of the people we're importing now are made of cousin marriage.
It is,
And when you take our best asset, not cousin breeding, and you import the worst part of the rest of the world, you have this poop soup.
Well, so let me give the hard details for people who aren't familiar. In the Middle East, it is extremely common to marry your cousin.
It's in the Quran.
It's a culturally normal thing, and we know scientifically that it results in an increased aggression and a decrease in IQ.
Chink.
This is why my Joe Rogan episode is banned, by the way.
Because you brought
I
up
said this, and it's very bad to do once. It's not great to do twice. You breed your cousins 50 generations.
wait, they banned your episode over this? Hey, look, here's a Wikipedia article: cousin marriage in the Middle East.
Both my Joe Rogan
is-
episodes are banned because I brought up this unbelievably terrible subject.
You mentioned Pakistan in particular. I think they have.
Pakistan in Britain is
So let me
9 different things on top of each other.
let me read this. Rates of cousin marriage in the Middle East have been found to vary from 29% in Egypt to 58% in Saudi Arabia.
Don't pull that up, Jamie. We're going to get banned.
But hold on, I want to stress this is Wikipedia, right? If YouTube's got a problem with a Wikipedia article saying this is a thing that we say
Jamie
happens,
pulled up.
really, and they banned it.
Yeah.
That's wild. I actually thought this was a fairly common and mainstream
You know
understanding.
what's great about being banned is no one knows you're banned. So people are like, you were on Joe Rogan and I haven't seen your tweets recently. And I'm like, my Joe Rogans are banned. My Twitter's banned. I'm banned.
Dude, how are you still banned? Everybody's unbanned. You're the only guy left. Laura Loomer, Alex Jones.
And I want to stress this.
Everybody's back. But
In a few
I
minutes,
guess I'm just much more influential than you guys.
So, if you enjoyed that clip,
Then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.